So I'm visiting this tiny library. This library gave so many cool gifts. It's my birthday in 2 days, and today is an auspicious transit. It's 2:20, and I'm born 2/22. I will be 44. How auspicious. I may be going to Banff. Look at this beautiful book. I love how vintage it is. I love these photos. Just as a book to like visit and walk through. They're going to describe this landscape, and I'm going to probably trip out just hearing about it and traveling there through this portal because the spirits of the land are so strong there. I love this book's title, Soft in the Head. This one called to me. I love the soft world, so I thought maybe that would be good stories for me. Uplifting stuff. Ooh, maybe. In my 40 fortunate year, I'll be sea kayaking. Look at this safety guide. I want to learn about safety to get out on bigger waters this year for sure, whatever vessel of watercraft I'm on. And I found this beautiful children's book about saying goodbye to a beloved grandfather by a Welsh. It is so beautiful how it's made with watercolor, or I'm sorry, colored pencil is what it looks like. And I really want to immerse in the story and the art style because I have a beautiful set of colored pencils that I'm captivated by the tones. The scale of them is like very natural colors, but a lot of warm, orangey brown. Anyways, I'm excited to check out this book and want to do watercolor. And then the final thing I found is so cool. 2022! Talk about a birthday present for me. Look at the aesthetic of this. This is channeling my child self. This is so cool. The numbers are so all over it. Guess what it is? It's a superhero calendar of local youth in Victoria. It's made by the museum here. It's called Superheroes of Victoria 2022 calendar, Junior Superheroes of Victoria. Wow. I mean, it says help fill a dream, and each month is a different superhero with a different story that's actual kid locally. I am, wow, gobsmacked. So grateful. So impressed. Look at this beautiful, beautiful bench. The presence of the dragonflies is such a good sign of queerness, especially masculine queerness. I don't know why. It reminds me of that gender and of just transformation and play in the sun that is growing in the light in this beautiful, ephemeral, fabulous, beautiful life. Turkey tail mushrooms. Hello. These are immune tonics. What a good sign. It reminds me of the ancestor cloud train that goes across the sky. Kind of looks similar, but in cloud form. So beautiful. I will now walk the labyrinth. And as I enter, I carry a question in my heart to the center. And that question is, what does harm reduction mean for me? I welcome Saint Matthias, guardian of this temple, this parish, and walk with you here. And I walk with my ancestors and the spirits of this land. Grateful to be in this question. What is harm reduction for me? Here we go. You can walk with us. I already hear the birds singing first. What a relief in my heart. The reminder to sing first in my heart. I'm noticing a joyfulness in the route. I've never walked a labyrinth this route before, Each labyrinth is a different shape. I love this one. It goes right to the center, and there's a dragonfly again, so I can peek at it. It reminds me how when you're young, you just go straight to the center. So I'm reminded my childlike self and the ever wonder that went straight to spirit there, right to the heart and beauty of everything was immediate for me, and it is immediate, and that is part of my harm reduction. Blessed be, bless the bees. This is so beautiful, this path. It goes really into center and then hugs around it and zigzags and plays around the side of it, staying really close to the center. This is the young part of my life. You know, look how close it goes to center. Oh my goodness. Again, so close. This must be when you're a teenager and you're like, oh wow, again, into a whole new realm of magic. It's like a whole new youthhood. You know, when you realize, for me, it was when I realized who I was as a youth, you know, realized my sexuality, my gender, all that was an explosion for me because I was queer, so it was really exciting. But yeah, it reminds me of the dragonfly like I was saying. But look at how I really appreciate this path. So I'm feeling, all right, this must be when I'm 18, right? When I'm like, okay, gotta enter adulthood. So you kind of have to leave that a little bit. Oof. But you're hugging close. You're like, you know, you're taking stock of like what's close to center that guides you here. You know, it's guiding your next direction away from the center. This must be like, oh my God, life just got more responsible and I got less time to do that magic-y stuff, and maybe I don't quite feel my magical dragonfly shiny self. I'm not sure last time I flew. No, anyways. This is about, depression. So it's getting real, like with the grief I've always had about having to leave magic, right? Whoosh, especially on a timeline growing older. Adulthood, ooh. In a colonial world, that's been hard, especially for a transgender person like myself. I'm smelling incense even though I don't think it's around me, which is mysterious. It's almost perfume-like. I feel maybe my grandmother here, and this sense as I'm like really across from where I began of like having come from people and from somewhere, and that feeling being with me, and that it drifts and finds me in my nose. It'll cross the barriers of the labyrinth. That's what I felt, was that spirit can always find me. So that's a nice reminder here on this opposite point where I started. This is maybe the Saturn returns, I think. After that, I did go off. Shit, am I going backwards? Uh-oh. Where did I come from? Oh, this is funny. I had to trace myself. Yeah, okay, I think I'm supposed to go this way still. Anyways, oh my goodness. I'm a funny bird, you guys. Yeah, this is right. Still going further out. Out. This is where it's not sad. When you grow older, this is where I learned after my Saturn returns. You start to live your magic. You start to walk it. You start to really find out the world of magic and how healing intersects and interweaves with this world, what that is, what the spiritual world is. Oh, wow. What the adult world can see and know is amazing. Oh, look at this. Ha ha ha. Amazing confirmation again. That like lightning hitting the earth, and also this is the, oh man, it's so many things. I love this sign. It's pointing to moss and the ground. I love that it's like, you know, the lightning and the ground, they have this deep relationship. The lightning hits and it propagates the mycelium double overnight. I feel like this is meant for me. I'm going to take it with me. But this is a reminder of like, see, I'm the farthest out from center, and I'm square to where I started, and I'm being shown that, like, you know, in these Saturnian cycles, there's this point where you're like connected to, if you're parallel or perpendicular to your origin or to center. There's just this beautiful thing about crossroads magic. You get these epiphanies here. Like, this is where I get, oh yeah, it's so sacred to be young, and that taught me how to be old, which is such a sacred thing because you grow more and more into mystery. And the dumpster truck's in the background, and I'm a dumpster man. We got it loud and messy, crowded, unpolished, annoying, and real. We're hanging out with the dumpster crew. The dumpster truck people. When I was a kid, my favorite toy was my garbage truck. That is literally in my diary as a child, and was true. I would play with it in like corners, and like I would like run around. I had like hidey places I'd go run around and hide in and play with it. Isn't that weird? What the heck? I think I loved the design of the truck. I don't know. Anyways. This is beautiful. How we get to go back into center. And it's like, yeah, if you go far out enough, Spirit starts to walk you closer. Every bit of your life becomes more sacred, more about love. Maybe then it's hard to figure out how to integrate that. Oh, but look how close to my origins I got. See, going far out took me all the way back. That's kind of like where I feel now. You know, I'm like 44. I'm like, wow, I'm so close to the seed of myself that had everything. And to like this point of view, right, that you get. I got fresh eyes. That's what it feels like. But I'm so far in too. So fresh eyes when you're this matured and ripened. Wow, I'm stoked. So yeah, I'm holy. I'm stoked. I think this is when I realize I'm stoked. And I get to go towards the last part of life, the last quadrant or whatever. I'm only halfway through. I don't know where I am in this labyrinth walk. But harm reduction for me is the key. You see how this is a big key? And this key is designed for me. It's sort of like time. I'm seeing my intestines too. Also the cells. You know the cells in our body, if you stretch them all out, the DNA in our body would stretch to the moon and back, right? Also, you know, something like our intestines stretch a really far way. There's a similar factoid. That's what this reminds me of. You know what this else is? It's a calendar. This is time weaving. Do you know that? I'm weaving the story of a lifespan, but you could do this with a year too, a solar cycle, or a lunar one. They're all in 4 quadrants, aren't they? Yes, they are. Time. This is a big calendar in many dimensions. I could walk it again just for my journey with the moon instead of my life. Go deeper into the key, into the key, into the hole in one. Boink! Yeah. Eagle. So my harm reduction insight from walking into the center of the labyrinth with this question, what is my harm reduction? It's what's harm reduction for me? It's a recipe of knowing myself, being authentic, understanding what that's meant on every path, probably sharing that story because I was narrating it out loud. I think there's this sense I need to walk through and tell the story of my tattoos like a timeline, and just talk about timelines and stories. And so that emerged. I see in the intestines, which I finally ended up. This is like the intestines or DNA. That's sort of an immune system. That's an armoring and a structure. It does create the portals of renewal and protection. So an insight, that's what that is. Paradigm. The paradigms. Do. Okay, anyways. I gotta pick a new question. So the new question is, from this I learned, maybe this is where I stand at 44. Kind of midlife, right? All right, so my question out of the labyrinth at this point is, who am I really? And I'm just gonna catch signs as I go up. Okay, so you can go on a ride with me. Who am I? really? Okay, so then, who am I really? Oh, here we go. X marks the spot where the treasure is, right in that center. That's the eye of the storm. It's just you. It's just you. It's just you. This whole time, you're just being yourself. The thing that was hardest to be. The thing you ran away from most. The thing that was most elusive and complex to figure out and maintain and care for and align with and listen to and be. The one that carried so much truth. It was such torture. The things that didn't fit here and the things that did. It was all so painful and beautiful. Okay, who we are is pretty dramatic. I guess I'm dramatic. This is all really dramatic. It is funny. And the more you get into that, I think the more you enjoy it. That's the key. You know, seems pretty general, but for me too, I love humor. I maybe am a comedian. I'm a storyteller at least. Who freaking does a movie of their feet? A Pisces. I love my feet. Hi. I had a sort of funny vice principal when I was in middle school. He actually talked to his left and right foot. That was the rumor. He was funny. Now I understand actually that guy was probably just kind of autistic. That's so cool. I'm so grateful. We had a really cool principal there. She called me in because she wanted me to know she was proud of me as a young girl that was good at shop class. You know, maybe I'm more of a carpenter. I do like woodworking. I like all trades. I want to get back in the shop. I want to have a shop, you know. I want to do ceramics, jewelry, woodworking. Ba-ding! I'm a horticulturist. I do art of all kinds. I'm a three-dimensional kind of, what do you call it? Muralist. No, not muralist. Like when you're doing like, jeez. Anyways, I think I'm a multimedia artist. I'm trying to play with different things. Collage is kind of what I was trying to say. Could not think of that word. Collage. That must be important. Collage. Because I was trying to figure out what kind of artist am I besides a dancer in the physical media, besides a poet. You know, I'm a dancer and a poet. That's how I play music. I'm a musician. If you want to say, how do I make art? I'm a collage artist. Isn't that funny? I couldn't even think of that word collage, which is funny because look what I found. I had to reach outside the labyrinth to get it, but I did. I break rules. I am not a purist. Look what I got for that. This is so cool. This is reliving my youth. It's so cool. This is what I used to draw all the time. And I love checkers. This is similar to the augury I found before, which is the sign. You know, augury means omen, sign. This is similar. It's like a skateboard. I used to draw these things. And I love checkers too. It's similar to the amazing lightning bolt on this, which was so appropriate. This is such a cool walk. I am feeling affirmed by my child self, and I'm feeling that who I am, you know, similar to what the question first started with, what harm reduction is for me, is a very youthful, aligned self. I love young people. I am connected to young people in myself. I am never separated from it as an adult, and that's been problematic in a lot of ways that many ADHD people suffer with. But blessings upon blessings, it has given me a lot of wisdom and everything, adult too. And I do trust the wisdom of kids and young people, and I actually believe in listening to them and empowering them more, centering them, and listening to them, following their leadership, creating that opportunity for youth to lead, including in myself. So I'm loving that. I'm loving that. That's a core thing for me. Connect to your trash and to youth and to those things inside yourself. That's key. I believe that's a key thing. And that's just part of my pedagogy. That just means that's the school of Knox that I've been in, and that informs how I kind of experience teaching and being taught and all that. It's kind of just channeling through experience of being thrown away and unseen, and also being outside what was going on. There's so much insight there. And then the young, see, they come in with young eyes. So, and all of that is the fresh perspective that is needed to navigate the impossible of the paradox that we are actually in. Everybody's just kind of varying degrees of honest about that, afforded that, and various kinds of privilege, which is just various kinds of numbness and deception. So it's kind of funny, isn't it? That's the catch-22 about privilege. It actually buffers you from experiencing as much. So isn't that funny? It's funny because everybody wants, I mean, at this point I've experienced so much all the time. I don't think I could ever, no. I'm so woven with the thrown away and the garbage and the joke there, that's what catches the sun ray in the morning, and the dew of the mercy of the mother. And morning, it rhymes with morning. Is all about grief walking. I'm not at all afraid to align with the trash. In fact, that made me more holy with the center of the universe. The soul sorrow is there, that is always like keening and crying, weeping. La Llorona, crying away. I cry with her, with them. I cry with the soul of sorrows in the black hole. And I'm walking with desire. I walk with truth. And I walk with the ever young and the old that is woven. Yeah! And here I go out into the world to make sense of all that. At least I have my books with me.